Now, as we dive into the complexities of sexual development and the role hormones play in it, it is important to first recognize that hormones are not just chemical messengers in the body. They are part of an intricate and finely tuned system that governs everything from growth and metabolism to emotions and sexual expression. Hormones are responsible for signaling various physical processes, and one of the most profound impacts they have is on sexual development, shaping everything from how our bodies change during puberty to how we experience intimacy later in life. Our journey begins early, even before birth. The first critical hormonal influence occurs in the womb when the body's genetic code is set in motion. For instance, the presence of the Y chromosome and the related production of testosterone lead to the development of male sexual organs, while the absence of this chromosome and testosterone results in the formation of female sexual organs. These early hormonal cues help differentiate the sexes, guiding the development of sexual organs that will be essential later in life. However, the hormonal forces at play during fetal development do not just affect our outward appearance, they influence brain development and the neural pathways that will later govern how we express ourselves sexually and emotionally. As we move beyond infancy, we enter childhood, where the influence of hormones takes a backseat. The body is largely in a state of growth and development with minimal fluctuations in the sexual hormones that will later come into play. But even in childhood, the groundwork for sexual development is being laid. It is only when we approach puberty that the true power of hormones starts to make itself known. Puberty is the stage when we transition from childhood to adolescence, and it is when we begin to see and feel the most dramatic changes in our bodies. For girls, puberty begins with the release of estrogen, triggering the development of breasts, widening of the hips, and the onset of menstruation. This hormonal shift is a critical part of becoming sexually mature, but it can also be accompanied by confusion and uncertainty. Girls may feel self-conscious about the changes they are undergoing, particularly if they feel their development is happening at a different rate than their peers. Understanding that this process is hormonal and thus natural can help provide comfort and clarity during a time of self-discovery. Hormones shape not only how the body develops, but how we begin to understand our own sexuality. As girls grow older, they may start to experience feelings of desire and attraction, also influenced by hormonal changes. These new emotions may feel intense or overwhelming, but they are part of the process of discovering one's sexual identity. For boys, puberty begins with the surge of testosterone, which leads to the deepening of the voice, the growth of facial and body hair, and the development of larger muscles. Testosterone also drives the growth of the penis and the onset of sperm production. As these physical changes occur, boys may feel both excited and awkward, experiencing a rush of new sensations and emotions that they may not fully understand. Much like girls, boys too may struggle with the psychological impact of these changes. The sudden increase in testosterone can lead to mood swings, impulsivity, and an increased drive for independence. Understanding that these emotional ups and downs are a natural part of hormonal development can help young people feel more secure in navigating the challenges they face. The hormonal shifts that occur during adolescence are not confined to physical changes alone. They also affect the brain. Research has shown that the teenage brain undergoes significant rewiring during puberty, and this rewiring is influenced by the surge in sex hormones. As the brain matures, teens begin to form deeper emotional connections and explore their sexual desires more consciously. This can lead to a heightened interest in romantic relationships, sexual exploration, and intimacy. For many adolescents, these experiences are exciting, but they can also be confusing or fraught with anxiety. Hormones can make the quest for identity and intimacy feel tumultuous, but they are also a powerful force that encourages exploration and self-expression. While adolescence is a time of intense change, it is also a time of profound growth and potential. Our hormones teach us to connect with others in new ways, helping us form relationships, engage in intimacy, and ultimately understand who we are as sexual beings. However, as we transition into adulthood, it is important to recognize that hormones continue to shape our sexual development. As adults, we may experience hormonal fluctuations that influence our sexuality in different ways. For instance, women experience changes in hormones during menstruation, pregnancy, and menopause, each phase bringing unique challenges and opportunities for growth. These fluctuations can affect not only the body, but also one's emotional and sexual health. For men, the decline in testosterone that comes with aging can affect libido, energy levels, and emotional well-being. Understanding that these hormonal shifts are a natural part of life can help reduce anxiety about sexual performance or desire. Embracing these changes rather than resisting them allows individuals to maintain a sense of sexual vitality and self-worth at every stage of life. Ultimately, hormones are more than just biological agents. They are the key to understanding the vast landscape of sexual development. They influence how we experience desire, attraction, intimacy, and connection. By learning to embrace the role hormones play in our sexual lives, we can approach each stage of development with greater understanding and acceptance. Hormonal fluctuations are a natural part of life, and they are deeply tied to our personal journey of sexual discovery and self-expression. Whether we are experiencing the early stages of puberty, navigating the challenges of adulthood, or embracing the changes that come with aging, hormones are always there, guiding us along the path of growth and transformation. By understanding how hormones shape our sexual development, we can live more confidently and authentically in every stage of life. Hormones are often thought of as mere chemical messengers, silently circulating through our bodies to regulate a variety of functions. However, when it comes to sexual development, they are far more than just biological signals. They are the silent architects that lay the blueprint for who we are and how we experience our sexuality. From the very moment we begin our journey in the womb, hormones are already at work, shaping our bodies and preparing us for the complex path of sexual maturation. This process begins long before we take our first breath, guiding our development in ways that are profound, subtle, and far-reaching. It is essential to understand that sexual differentiation starts during early embryonic development. Even before we are born, our bodies are being sculpted by the delicate interplay of hormones. In the earliest stages of life, our bodies are undifferentiated, meaning they have the potential to become either male or female. This is where hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone come into play. The presence or absence of specific hormones at critical moments dictates the course of sexual differentiation. For those with male biological sex, the presence of a Y chromosome triggers the production of testosterone, a hormone responsible for the development of male sexual organs. This hormone encourages the formation of the testes, which will later produce sperm and additional hormones. Testosterone also shapes other key features of male sexuality, such as the deepening of the voice, the growth of facial hair, and the development of larger muscle mass. Without this surge of testosterone in the early stages of development, male sexual characteristics would not emerge as they do. On the other hand, those with female biological sex who lack the Y chromosome experience a different hormonal journey. Estrogen and progesterone, the two primary hormones involved in female sexual differentiation, take center stage. These hormones guide the formation of the ovaries, the uterus, and the external genitalia. Estrogen also plays a pivotal role in the development of secondary sexual characteristics like breast growth and the widening of the hips, which are later instrumental in the ability to bear children. This early hormonal influence is not just about shaping our bodies, but also about laying the foundation for how we will later perceive our sexual identities, relationships, and reproductive potential. What is truly remarkable about this process is that the influence of hormones doesn't stop with the formation of sexual organs. They go deeper, guiding the development of our brains and nervous systems. Hormonal signals influence the brain's wiring, setting the stage for how we will experience emotions, attraction, and desire. In the womb, hormones like testosterone have been shown to affect brain structure in ways that may later influence sexual orientation, preferences, and behavior. This means that from the very beginning, hormones are guiding not only the way our bodies will look, but also the way our minds will respond to the world around us, shaping the very essence of our sexual identities. As we move out of the womb and into infancy, the influence of hormones becomes more subtle, but it remains present. Our bodies are no longer in the process of differentiation, but the groundwork for sexual maturity has been laid. At this stage, the focus shifts to growth, but the hormonal foundation is still being established. When the time comes for puberty to arrive, the intensity of hormonal influence will surge once again, and this time it will dramatically alter the course of our development. Puberty is the stage where we undergo perhaps the most dramatic hormonal shift of all. It is the period when we suddenly find ourselves grappling with a new landscape of feelings, sensations, and desires, an experience that can feel simultaneously overwhelming and exciting. During puberty, our bodies are flooded with sex hormones that trigger the onset of physical changes. For girls, this means the rise of estrogen, which initiates breast development, the growth of pubic hair, and the start of menstruation. Boys, on the other hand, experience a surge in testosterone, which leads to the deepening of the voice, increased muscle mass, and the growth of facial and body hair. But the physical changes are just one part of the puzzle. Puberty is not just about the transformation of our outward appearance, it is about the profound emotional and psychological shifts that occur within us as well. As hormones like estrogen and testosterone circulate through our bodies, they also impact the brain, triggering new emotions and desires. Suddenly, we may find ourselves experiencing intense feelings of attraction, curiosity, and the desire to form romantic connections. The hormones responsible for these shifts are not just telling our bodies to grow, they are also laying the groundwork for how we will form relationships and how we will express our sexuality. For many young people, puberty can be a confusing time. The influx of hormones can lead to mood swings, anxiety, and a sense of being disconnected from one's body. These changes may be accompanied by feelings of self-consciousness or uncertainty as we try to understand what is happening to us. But it is important to recognize that these hormonal shifts are not random. They are necessary for our development. They are guiding us towards sexual maturity, providing us with the tools to experience intimacy and connection, and shaping our capacity for self-awareness and sexual expression. The hormonal changes of puberty are the opening act in a lifelong journey of sexual development. Even after puberty has ended, hormones continue to influence our sexual experiences, from the formation of romantic relationships to the development of our sexual identities. The hormonal shifts of adolescence set the stage for how we will relate to others, how we will experience intimacy, and how we will come to understand our own desires. This is why it is so essential to appreciate the profound role that hormones play, not just in our bodies, but in the way we navigate the complex terrain of human sexuality. In understanding how hormones shape sexual development, we come to realize that these changes are not something to fear or resist, but rather something to embrace. Hormones are the silent architects of our sexual selves, guiding us through the stages of life with an invisible but powerful hand. Whether we are navigating the bewildering changes of puberty, experiencing the emotional intensity of young adulthood, or adjusting to the hormonal shifts of aging, these chemical messengers are an integral part of our sexual identity. By recognizing their role in shaping who we are, we can move through life with greater understanding, acceptance, and confidence in our bodies and our sexuality. As we move forward in our journey of sexual development, it is essential to remember that hormones are not just biological forces, they are an intrinsic part of who we are. They shape our physical bodies, influence our emotions, and guide our sexual identities. Understanding their role in our development is a crucial step toward embracing our sexuality with compassion, curiosity, and empowerment. Adolescence is a period of intense change, a time when the body, mind, and emotions are all transforming in ways that can feel overwhelming. It is often seen as a confusing phase, an in-between stage where we no longer feel like children, but we are not yet fully adults. Yet, despite the confusion and uncertainty that many adolescents experience, this is also the time when hormones take center stage in shaping our sexual development. The hormonal forces at play during adolescence are not just responsible for physical growth, but also for the profound emotional and psychological shifts that we undergo. These hormones are, in essence, the driving force behind this period of intense self-discovery. Puberty, which is the hallmark of adolescence, marks the first major hormonal storm we encounter in our lives. For many of us, it feels as if everything about our body and mind is being radically altered in a very short span of time. For girls, the surge of estrogen triggers the development of breasts, the widening of hips, and the start of menstruation. For boys, testosterone surges, resulting in the deepening of the voice, the growth of body and facial hair, and the increase in muscle mass. These physical changes are only the beginning. The true power of hormones during adolescence goes much deeper, influencing not just the body, but our inner world, the world of thoughts, emotions, desires, and self-perception. As we transition into puberty, the rise in hormones does more than just guide our physical maturation. It sparks a series of emotional and psychological transformations. Suddenly, we find ourselves wrestling with new feelings that may have been dormant or unfamiliar before. We begin to experience desires and attractions in ways we may not have fully understood in the past. These hormonal shifts can stir up intense emotions and sensations. The hormonal surge can bring moments of inner turmoil as we confront the complexities of growing up and discovering new aspects of ourselves that we may not have anticipated. For many adolescents, this is a time of questioning, confusion, and even anxiety as we try to reconcile our changing bodies with our changing identity. It is not uncommon during this time for adolescents to feel self-conscious or uncertain about their physical appearance. The body changes so rapidly and often in ways that are beyond our control. The sudden appearance of acne, the rapid growth of body hair, or the first signs of menstruation or ejaculation can feel like a constant reminder that we are no longer children. It can be difficult to feel comfortable in a body that feels foreign, unpredictable, and out of our control. The pressure to fit in, to look or act a certain way, can make it even harder to navigate these changes with ease. Yet as overwhelming as these changes may feel, it is crucial to understand that this period of transformation is necessary for the cultivation of sexual maturity. Hormones are not causing these changes for no reason. They are guiding us toward a greater understanding of who we are, what we desire, and how we relate to others. The surge in estrogen or testosterone pushes us toward new relationships, emotional connections, and for some, the desire for sexual exploration. While these feelings may seem chaotic or difficult to understand at first, they are in fact an essential part of our sexual development. Hormones are teaching us about our own desires, what turns us on, and how to form intimate connections with others. This is also a time when our self-position is being reshaped by the interplay of hormones and the new experiences we encounter. We begin to view ourselves through a different lens, one that is more attuned to sexual identity, attraction, and the complexities of emotional connection. The hormones driving this shift may cause a roller coaster of emotions, moments of exhilaration, frustration, insecurity, and excitement as we try to navigate the evolving landscape of our sexual selves. And yet, all of these changes are part of the broader process of self-discovery. They are preparing us for deeper emotional and sexual experiences later in life. For adolescents, this can feel like a time of turbulence, a period where emotions run high, and understanding oneself can feel like an impossible task. But it is important to approach this period with patience and self-compassion. The surge in hormones that accompanies puberty is not something to be feared or resisted. It is a natural, albeit challenging, part of growing up. Understanding that these hormonal shifts are necessary and are happening for our growth can help us approach this period with greater acceptance and understanding. One of the most important things to remember during adolescence is that hormonal changes do not just affect the physical body, they also affect how we see ourselves and the world around us. The heightened emotional and physical responses that come with puberty can make everything feel more intense. Small things may seem bigger, and our feelings of attraction or infatuation may feel all-consuming. We may experience periods of doubt or frustration, feeling uncertain about who we are or who we want to be. These emotional fluctuations are a natural part of adolescence, driven by the powerful hormonal forces at play. But rather than seeing these feelings as obstacles or sources of discomfort, we can view them as opportunities for self-growth. The turbulence is part of the process of learning who we are, what we want, and how we will relate to others. Recognizing the impact of hormones during adolescence can also help us navigate the challenges of forming relationships during this time. The desire for intimacy, emotional connection, and sexual exploration becomes stronger, and it is important to approach these new experiences with a sense of self-awareness. Hormones may push us toward relationships, but it is essential to cultivate a sense of respect for ourselves and others as we begin to explore the complexities of attraction and intimacy. Adolescence is a time when we are learning not only about our bodies, but also about the boundaries, desires, and needs of others. Hormones guide us toward the exploration of these relationships, but it is up to us to develop the emotional maturity to understand the significance of connection and consent. In addition to sexual maturity, adolescence is also a time when we are shaping our self-identity in a broader sense. The hormonal fluctuations we experience influence the way we perceive ourselves, our bodies, and our place in the world. As we undergo these changes, it is important to develop a sense of self-compassion. We must remember that the emotional and physical shifts we experience are not permanent struggles. They are a temporary but necessary phase of growth. The feelings of confusion, self-doubt, and inner turmoil will eventually give way to clarity and self-assurance as we move forward in our development. In conclusion, while adolescence can often feel like a chaotic period of change, it is also a time of great potential. Hormones are the driving force behind this transformation, guiding us toward the cultivation of sexual maturity, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness. The surge in testosterone or estrogen that characterizes puberty is not just a biological process, it is a journey of self-discovery that can help us understand our desires, form meaningful relationships, and develop a deeper understanding of ourselves. By approaching these hormonal changes with patience and self-compassion, we can embrace the challenges of adolescence as opportunities for growth, trusting that they are leading us to a stronger, more authentic version of ourselves. As we grow older and move into adulthood, the powerful forces of hormones that guided us through our childhood and adolescence do not simply fade into the background. Instead, they continue to play an integral role in shaping our sexual experiences, emotional connections, and even the way we relate to ourselves and others. The journey of sexual development does not end when we leave behind the turbulence of adolescence. In fact, it evolves further, and hormones remain central to our physical, emotional, and sexual lives throughout adulthood. One of the most profound ways hormones influence our adult lives is through romantic relationships. The hormone-driven forces of attraction that begin in adolescence continue to shape how we bond with others as adults. In the early stages of a relationship, we often experience a rush of hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin, that make us feel euphoric, deeply connected, and in love. These love hormones are responsible for the feelings of excitement and joy we experience when we are close to someone with whom we feel a strong emotional and physical connection. As we move into longer-term relationships, hormones continue to guide how we maintain intimacy and connection. Oxytocin, often referred to as the bonding hormone, plays a crucial role in fostering trust and deepening emotional connections between partners. It is released during moments of physical affection, such as hugging, kissing, or sexual intimacy, and helps solidify the sense of closeness that is essential for a lasting relationship. In fact, the presence of oxytocin can be so strong that it strengthens emotional attachment, reduces stress, and fosters feelings of security. Thus, the hormonal influence on adult romantic relationships goes beyond physical attraction. It nurtures the emotional bonds that make partnerships feel meaningful and lasting. However, the influence of hormones does not stop at romantic love. It extends to other aspects of adult life as well, particularly when it comes to the development of family and parenthood. Hormones play a key role in the process of conception, pregnancy, and childbirth. From the moment a couple decides to start a family, hormones such as estrogen and progesterone come to the forefront, guiding the growth of a new life. During pregnancy, the body undergoes dramatic hormonal changes to nurture the developing fetus, and hormones like oxytocin and prolactin further contribute to the experience of childbirth and breastfeeding. These hormones help mothers bond with their newborns and ensure the physical and emotional health of both mother and child. The hormonal impact of parenthood doesn't just end with birth, it continues to shape the parenting experience, guiding how we care for and nurture our children as they grow. As adults, we also face the reality of the hormonal shifts that come with aging. For many, this is a time of reflection and transition as we experience the gradual changes in our bodies and sexual selves. For women, the transition to menopause is marked by a drop in estrogen and progesterone levels, which can bring about symptoms such as hot flashes, mood swings, and changes in sexual desire. For men, there is a gradual decrease in testosterone as they age, which can affect libido, energy levels, and even mood. These changes are natural and part of the rhythm of life, but they can sometimes feel disorienting or frustrating. Hormonal imbalances during adulthood, whether caused by aging, stress, or other factors, can lead to feelings of uncertainty, self-doubt, or discomfort. For example, a lack of hormonal balance can affect one's sexual desire, performance, and overall satisfaction. However, rather than seeing these changes as obstacles or something to fear, it is important to recognize that they are a normal and inevitable part of our biological development. Hormonal shifts are not a sign of decline, but an indication of the body's continual evolution. By understanding that hormones continue to play a central role in shaping our lives, we can approach these changes with more acceptance, curiosity, and resilience. In fact, the wisdom that comes with age offers a unique opportunity to reflect on and embrace these hormonal changes with greater understanding and acceptance. As we gain new insights into our bodies and sexual selves, we learn to appreciate the full spectrum of our sexual experiences, not just as a young person, but across the different stages of life. Aging can bring with it the opportunity to redefine and reimagine what sexual health, intimacy, and connection mean. In some ways, the hormonal changes of adulthood can lead to a more profound understanding of our sexuality. We become more attuned to the shifts in our desires and needs, and we learn to embrace the changes in our bodies with a deeper sense of self-empowerment. This is also a time when self-compassion and self-awareness are key. Hormonal shifts can affect our mood, our energy, and our body image, and these changes can sometimes leave us feeling disconnected or unsure of ourselves. However, by embracing these changes as part of our ongoing development, we can navigate the complexities of adulthood with a sense of purpose and confidence. The experience of hormonal shifts in adulthood also provides an opportunity for self-care. Through mindfulness, communication with partners, and a commitment to our health and well-being, we can maintain a positive relationship with our bodies and our sexuality, even as it continues to evolve. Ultimately, the lasting impact of hormones in our adult lives is a testament to their profound role in shaping our sexual identities. From the deep emotional connections of romantic relationships to the joys and challenges of parenthood, hormones are the silent guides that help us navigate the complexities of our sexual experiences. The hormonal fluctuations we face throughout life, from adolescence to adulthood and beyond, are not something to be feared. Instead, they are integral to our development as sexual beings, helping us form intimate relationships, experience pleasure, and cultivate a greater sense of self-awareness and acceptance. Understanding the role that hormones continue to play in our lives allows us to approach each stage of our sexual development with patience, curiosity, and empowerment. Whether we are in the throes of young love, navigating the challenges of aging, or experiencing the transformative journey of parenthood, we can embrace our changing sexual selves with a deep sense of gratitude. Hormones, in all their complexity, are not just agents of change, they are the architects of our evolving sexual identities, and they deserve our acknowledgement and respect as we move through the various chapters of our lives.